they told her to take off her uniform. In front of the men she was about to save, in front of the commanders who doubted her, and in front of the one man who had sworn she'd never break again. She didn't flinch. Didn't stutter. She simply lifted her chin, smirked, and said, "You just told a Navy SEAL to strip." What they didn't know, what no one knew, was that this moment would ignite the mission that would test her loyalty, her strength, and the secret she'd buried deeper than the ocean she came from. The briefing room hummed with tension, the kind you could scrape off the air with a knife. Commander Holt's voice was sharp, clipped, and cold in the way only someone who's lost too many people becomes. The fluorescent lights washed everything into a sterile gray, but despite it, every pair of eyes fixated on her like she was a puzzle that didn't belong. Lieutenant Sarah Callan stood at attention, boots grounded, hands clasped behind her back. Her uniform fit her like armor, pressed, neat, decorated with the quiet dignity of someone who'd bled for every stripe. She didn't blink when Holt tossed the folder across the table, letting it skid to a stop at her feet. "Your loyalty is being questioned, Lieutenant Callan," he said, not even trying to hide the bitterness. "Until we confirm your involvement with this leak, we need you out of uniform." Effective immediately. A murmur rolled through the room. Not one of shock, no. It was curiosity, suspicion, and something darker. Sarah lifted the folder, her heartbeat steady, though her stomach twisted. She had expected this. She knew someone wanted her out of the mission. What she didn't know was who. Holt gestured sharply. "Take off your uniform." The room froze. Someone coughed. Someone else whispered, "Damn." But Sarah didn't move. She just stared, locking her gaze on Holt's, reading him like she'd read every hostile shoreline, every storm-beaten wave. Holt was lying about something. And his hands were shaking. Sarah's lips curled, slow, sharp, fearless. "With all due respect, Commander," she tilted her head, letting the silence draw tight. "You just told a Navy SEAL to strip." A ripple of stunned laughter flickered in the back. Even Holt blinked, thrown off balance. But beneath the smirk, her mind was already sharpening, calculating, observing. Her eyes drifted to the right side of the room. And there he was. Jackson Reed. Former teammate. Former best friend. Former something more, something she never let herself name. He stood rigid, arms crossed, jaw carved like stone, but his eyes, those storm-gray eyes, were burning. Burning with anger. Burning with something unspoken. Burning at her. He thought she did it. He thought she betrayed them. And that hurt more than Holt's accusation. Sarah lifted her hands to the zipper of her uniform, slow, deliberate, a performance she didn't ask for. Gasps fluttered in the room, but she didn't care. She wasn't ashamed. If anything, she wanted them to see the scars she carried. Proof of every mission she'd survived. Proof of the battles she'd fought for the very people who now doubted her. But as the zipper came down, Jackson's voice cut through the room like a gunshot. "Enough." He stepped forward, eyes locked on Holt. "This is a setup. You know it. She knows it. And whoever leaked intel is still out there because you're too busy humiliating one of your best." Sarah paused, breath catching. Holt paled. Jackson wasn't defending her because he believed she was innocent. He was defending her because he knew the humiliation would break her, because it had broken him once. Sarah's fingers tightened around her uniform. "Commander," she said quietly, "if you think stripping me will prove anything, it won't. It'll just show you're targeting the wrong person." Holt hesitated, then motioned toward the door. "Get out. Until further notice, you're off this mission." Every word landed like a punch. The mission was everything. And this one mattered more than any that came before it. Because the hostage they needed to save was her sister. She turned to leave, but Jackson caught her wrist, gentle but firm. "Sarah. Don't shut me out this time." She swallowed hard. Too late. And she walked out, the weight of betrayal pressing on her like wet sand. But she didn't crumble. She didn't break. She had a sister to save. A name to clear. A truth to uncover. And she would do it, uniform or not. Wind slammed into her face as she stepped onto the open deck of the base, the ocean stretching endlessly in front of her. The coastline looked the same as it had years ago when she first arrived, uncertain and angry, carrying more wounds than training. Back then, Jackson found her sitting alone on the pier. Back then, he offered her a granola bar and said, "You look like you need a win." She needed one now more than ever. Sarah gripped the railing, grounding herself. She wasn't suspended because she was guilty. She was suspended because someone wanted her out of the way. And she knew exactly why. The leaked intel connected directly to Operation Black Tide, the mission designed to extract an undercover agent trapped overseas. No one else knew the agent's identity except Sarah. It was her sister, Mia. The only family she had left. Sarah heard footsteps behind her, heavy but familiar. Jackson. Of course he followed. He always followed, on missions, through storms, through hell itself. "Talk to me," he said. No, she didn't turn. She couldn't. If she saw the softness in his eyes, the softness she missed, she might break. He stepped beside her anyway. "Someone's framing you. And you know who." She clenched her jaw. "I have theories." "You mean Holt?" Sarah's silence was confirmation. Jackson shook his head. "Holt may be a bastard, but he's not stupid enough to sabotage a mission like this." Sarah's breath hitched. "Then it's someone close. Someone with access. Someone who knew Mia was the agent." Jackson stiffened. "Sarah, only 3 people knew. Her. Holt. Jackson. And I know it wasn't me," he added, voice low. She finally met his eyes. "I know." The tension between them eased just enough for her lungs to expand. Jackson hadn't betrayed her. That truth alone steadied her heart. He studied her face, searching. "So what's the plan?" "I don't have one." "Bullshit." His jaw flexed. "You always have a plan." She looked back at the water. "Not this time. They stripped me of my clearance. I can't access the mission files. I can't get my team. I'm shut out." "Then we do it off the books." Sarah whipped around. "Jackson, if we get caught, we lose everything." "You already did." The honesty stung. "You think they'll clear your name if you sit here doing nothing?" She blinked back, tears, frustration burning. "This isn't just another mission." "I know." He softened. "It's Mia." Sarah's breath shook as she exhaled. "She trusted me. I can't let her die because someone wants to play politics." "Then say it," Jackson pressed gently. "Say you need help." She hated asking. Hated depending on anyone. But the truth carved its way out. "I need you." For a moment, the world stilled. No waves. No wind. Just the ghost of the connection they once had. Jackson nodded once. "Then I'm in." Sarah's heart steadied. She wasn't alone anymore. He reached into his jacket and handed her something metallic, familiar, cold. Her combat knife. Her name engraved on the handle. "They confiscated your uniform," Jackson said. "But they didn't ask me for this." Sarah closed her fingers around the knife. Strength. Memory. Purpose. It wasn't just a weapon. It was a promise. "We move at night," she whispered. "We find who framed me. And then we get Mia back." Jackson smirked, the same reckless grin she remembered from their earliest days. "Then let's go remind the world why they should never underestimate a Navy SEAL." And for the first time since the accusations, Sarah felt hope spark in her chest. The mission wasn't over. It was just beginning.